Good evening, folks, and welcome to a special bonus episode, special treat for the Cover One premium subscribers here with this special episode of the Cover One Film Room. I am one of your hosts, Anthony Prohaska, joined by Eric Turner, and we are not alone tonight. Normally, the third person on this team, Kendall Mirsky, he's not available tonight, so we thought it would be a cool thing to replace him with a former Buffalo Bill who's once again a Buffalo Bill, someone who we are very appreciative of here at Cover One, Mr. Shaq Lawson. Thank you so much for joining us. And dude, you're rocking out at dinner, you're chilling in Miami, but you're taking the time to talk with us, man. We appreciate you stopping by. How you living? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said earlier, man, Cover One always show me some love. So great to be on with y'all guys.
Hell yeah,
we appreciate it, Shaq. After all these years, it's finally nice to get in the film room, talk some film, talk some ball with you. Again, thank you for taking the time, and I want to get right into the culture, the Bills organization. Obviously, you chose to come back to Buffalo. You played here years ago. You started your career in Buffalo, and you flourished, man. And you got your big contract. You went to different cities. You played with other defenses, but the Bills organization, what they built, what you've seen over the last few years. I mean, what do you believe in culture, first of all? And what type of culture have the Bills set under Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, and that staff?
Man, I said this in the building when I got back. I got drafted by Rex Ryan, so when he was here, it was just a whole wreck. So I seen it from that little part until McDermott first got the job and changed it. I remember day one, he said he's gonna change the culture. Make it more playoff caliber. I remember going around the building, it was playoff caliber. And now after I left, and my last 2 years been not so good with teams I've been on and things like that, and then watching those boys progress, man, them guys there. And I seen it, and I even said it when I seen him after the game. I'm like, Coach, you really changed this culture. And I remember day one, he really changed. He got the right people in there, the right players, the right coaches, from top to bottom. They just got the right people in there.
Yeah, it's got to be a different feeling, day to day in that building, right? Like from the other stops along the way, when you come into a building that has that kind of focus and that leadership quality under McDermott, right?
Oh yes, sir. Like they, that phrase they say, the grass is not always green on the other side. Man, I learned that the hard way. I'm not knocking hustle on the other places. I had a great experience in Miami. Miami and the Jets. I had a great experience, but it was like it's different. Buffalo different. Starting with the fans. Man, I played in Miami. I could tell it wasn't no fans there. Because you got to think about Miami. It's a big city. They doing other things.
Yeah.
Right.
Buffalo, you getting the day one fans and they still show me support, man. I remember this fan like it's day one. I was in camp in Houston. Dude came in there with a Buffalo Bill shirt and everything, and just to let me sign it. So I was like, okay, that's real support. Even they come and showing up to a training camp in Houston. So that's different love right there.
Shaq, how important is it for because we always hear about it from an off the field perspective as people who cover the game and just casual fans always hear the culture piece and culture piece. Is that something that players actually look towards and consider when they're signing with the team? You speaking about coming back to Buffalo and just McDermott and the whole vibe here and everything. Is that something that is a genuine thing that attracts players, or is that something you guys just say for fluff when you get in front of the media and just talk about nice stuff? Does that culture piece really matter?
That culture really matters. The energy you have in the building is going to determine how your energy is throughout the season, how your team goes. If you around bad energy, it won't go far. As far as you want to make it, that's the goal is to win the Super Bowl. So the culture is a big part. Like I said, it starts from top and bottom. Starting with starting with the GMs and everything to the players. If you don't got the culture or the foundation built, and you trying to restart over, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough. And I feel like my last two teams, I was basically part of two rebuilding, Jets rebuilding. They just got a new coach this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Miami, we were still rebuilding because we signed a lot of players. So that played a lot of part in the culture, man. The culture is a big part. At first in the league, when I first got there, I thought, okay, man, they just talking. You around anybody, you can play football. But nah, that's in the step of winning football, a step in winning the Super Bowl that's a big part.
That's super dope for like us to be able to hear that and know that it's such a real thing. And building on that culture piece, you're someone who, like, we've spoken about, I think a lot of Bills fans would say it as well. Like, you were one of those like culture contributing guys when you were here in Buffalo. Your time in Buffalo, it felt like you were kind of one of those poster child examples of like the dude who did his job. Like, you did your 111th, you knew your role, you played your role, and you did it well. Like, talk about how important is that for a defense, for everybody to do their job and do their 111th, especially for one like the Bills, where so much of that defense is predicated upon your teammates got to know what you're doing and where you're going to be, and you got to know what they're doing and where they're going to be, so you guys can all work together. Like, how important is it for like you guys, for everybody to do their job?
Man, it's very important. We all got to be on the same page. Even the guys that ain't in the game got to be on the same page. What's going on, dialed in, and because if one player mess up in football, a gap can open up and it will crease you. It just take just one person not doing their job. So in this defense, Coach McDermott preached that day one. Do your 111. and I took pride in it. Like, I do my job, worry about what I can control, and then everything else will take care of itself.
And you talked about the other stops along the way and the coaches and defenses that you played in. And one of our premium subscribers, Eric Smeal, he had a question about that. And how would you describe how the Bills used you, in your career in Buffalo, and how they plan to use you now versus how those other teams, those other defenses, in that, I know you played under Flores, more of an odd type front, and you had a different role there, a little more traditional type 4-3 type defense with the Jets. So what were the differences along the way compared to Buffalo and how they used you?
I'll say the Jets and Buffalo, slimmer, same 4-3. We played a lot of non-technique. You know what I'm saying? Our method of our philosophy for the 4-3 was a lot different. It was like rush, squeeze, close for that. And Miami. It was just I was out of place. Like, I'm playing outside linebacker. Like, I was just out of place in outside linebacker. And but that
did you have flashbacks to Rex Ryan's system?
Man, yeah, I had flashback, but Rex Ryan's system was a little harder.
A little harder, yeah.
This wasn't that bad. But yeah, I remember times that's how I knew it was different from me. Like, I do a couple reps or one-on-one in practice, and I go 7-on-7 the rest of the time. So I never in my career did it. Even when I played outside linebacker my rookie year, I was never doing 7-on-7. So that was just a new adjustment for me when I did it. So that's the only different part. I'm glad where I'm at. Playing the 6 technique, getting off the ball. Buffalo using me the right way. Since I left, that's the best I've been playing when I was in this defense. So I'm happy to be back, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to come back. For real, I was comfortable with the coaches. They let me be myself. That's right. One place I know, Buffalo let me be myself. They let me be the jokester, the laugher, you know what I'm saying, standing out loud. The other teams, I would just had to be quiet. I mean, I know, I wouldn't say that about Jets. I could open up, but so I had a little pit stop to Houston, and that was a little different. So other than that, everything else been straight.
I remember when you were talking about coming back to Buffalo, you had told me that you loved the staff there and the players. They allowed you to be yourself, as you just mentioned, but more importantly, to be the best version of yourself. And we look back at your career in Buffalo, and one thing that Leslie Frazier has always preached since he's been in the Bills regime and coaching staff is batted passes. And you had 9 batted passes in your career in Buffalo. And I wonder, and I want to know, what is it about those batted passes in this system? Because all of your batted passes came in the Bills system. And is it because of how offenses attack the Bills defense? Like, what is it about, and what it is taught to you to get your hands up and bat those passes down?
Sometimes it's a down the distance things, third and short, third and 4 and medium. They trying to get the ball out hot, so you ain't gonna try to get to the quarter. You ain't gonna be able to get there. So if you take a quick pass screen, you can bat the ball down. And and you got to affect the quarterback. I know people talk about sacks, quarterback hits, but that's another way affecting the quarterback. That's like a DB getting a PBU. So anyway can really affect the quarterback. That was my goal to try to do.
We agree with that. We definitely agree with that, Hyant.
Oh, big time. Yeah, we're massive proponents of, we like the idea, obviously, of sacks. Everybody loves that, but we're constantly banging that drum for the multiple ways that you can affect the quarterback, and a sack is just one of those ways. Like, there's a multitude of ways to disrupt the offense, get at the QB, and so much of your game is so disruptive, and we've studied that a lot when watching film. That's why this is the film room. Like, we break down the X's and O's and the hows and whys and everything. When it comes to film for you, what do you look for when you're watching film? How do you, go about like studying offensive linemen? What do you look for in their game in order to beat them? Do you have like a certain process of how you go about like scouting your opponent and trying to figure out how you're going to attack them on Sundays?
Yes, sir. I think I learned that from the great, gonna be a Hall of Famer, Cal Williams, man. He taught me the right way to watch film. Like, so I'll break down a whole. It depends on what game we're in. I'll break down. I even go watch games from last year. I break down like the first 7 games and watch the whole game from play 1 to the end. Those guys gonna give you tendencies, or if it's a run stance or a pass stance, or they're going to give it away when they pulling or things like that. My goal is to look at things like, okay, what the offensive line struggle on. If he struggle with a power rush, I'm going to power him, and open him up. If he, like the guy that play speed, put his chest back, I'm going to power him then. If a finesse guy, you just work him. And it might not be that first rush or that second rush, but you just keep opening them up, breaking them down throughout the game, through 4 quarters, and you'll finally get them. And the run, I can give it away for me. It depends if I'm in the 6 technique. I can tell when a tight end cut me out. Most of those guys know it's a big guy in front of them, so they'll kind of look where they're going. So I be on that, and I look at their top runs throughout the week. NFL is, if y'all know, it's a copycat league. Everybody, if one team runs something good on you last week, they're going to run it on you next week. So it's just a copycat league. So whatever plays you struggled with the week before, you're going to get it in some type of way, in some different formation.
All right, so you have several young rushers that are in the room with you, but you also have a guy in Von Miller that is going to be on, on the opposite end of you at times. And so a future Hall of Famer in Von Miller, obviously a lot of the protections are going to slide to him. A lot of those chips and whatnots are going to be going to him. Tight ends are going to be his side. Running backs are going to his side, which will allow you and, a guy we're going to talk about later, Jordan Phillips, at times in that second and third wave to, come in there and attack as a pass rusher. So what are you expecting to see when Von Miller is opposite you on those obvious passing rush, rush situations?
So, he gonna get the slide. But I'm gonna be real with you, man. We got some guys that can rush. Man, if you slide to him, it's gonna be multiple guys come free. Yeah. Like Greg been working down here in Miami, working on our pass rush.
All right.
Man, he look incredible. So if you're gonna slide to Von, it's gonna open the other guys up, man. It's just gonna be a feast. Everybody getting out of it, because I feel like we got some guys that can really rush. Bringing Big Phil back. Big Phil was like one of my main reasons of coming back. So having him bringing that middle push, and that's gonna open us up as the ends.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into the film here, Shaq. Hopefully you can see that clearly.
Yeah, I can see it.
We got a few plays here. This is a pass rush, a 5-man rush. You have a nickel pressure off the edge, off the right side of the screen. Jerry Hughes landing inside, but you're on the left side of the line here with Jordan Phillips to your side. And as I said, you're pairing with him. It's just something I love for so many different reasons versus the run and the pass. Here, you guys both kind of complement each other. So Jordan is that power power move after he processes run the pass, and he's collapsing the the depth of the pocket. And I want to ask you, are you on this play more of a contain type rusher with the nickel coming
Yeah,
off the edge?
it's a blitz, so I'm more of a contained type rusher. So I got to stay outside
Right.
and be the edge defender. So I'm more of a contained guy. And on this play, I knew Collins was a very aggressive player.
Yeah.
So I knew he was going to jump me. So I know, okay, I got a chance. I know I got the 3 technique, staying outside, getting vertical.
Right.
I know I got a chance if I get 2 upfield, quarterback depth, I can counter wheel him because he like to turn his shoulder. I can grab that inside arm.
Is that something that you diagnosed like in studying film for that week and like figuring out his technique, or was that more of like an in-game adjustment and knowing how to attack?
Oh yeah, I knew in like play action pass, he was a very aggressive.
Okay.
So I really had to be smart. So if he was like very aggressive like that, and it was a normal like overcall something, I would have took the inside move and Phil would have covered me.
Okay.
But since it's a blitz, I stayed outside, and coaches teach day one, you don't want to get past quarterback depth.
Right.
And I just counter wheel. Is one of I like this rush because this is one of my it's a great player. And I was like, okay, I got a chance, so I just counter wheel, man. And I knew it. Next thing you know, me and Big Phil
meeting as a quarterback.
I remember this play. Phil said, I got half a sack. You know when you get half a sack, people arguing. I'm like, nah, I got the whole one.
That's my sack.
No, it was a great read and good sense of Dak's position in the pocket and then climbing a little bit and adjusting to him. Obviously, a good play from you guys there on that obvious passing down here off play action. Now this is from the same game, and you see the Y motion here, and the Bills you guys didn't shift the defensive line here, and so you didn't see Star Lotulelei bump over. You guys bumped the linebackers. So talk about this play here. Anthony, I know you have a question on this, though. Why don't you rip that off?
Yeah,
Okay.
On this one, Shaq, like what are you keying in on and reading on this play? Is it fullback action? Is it Tyron Smith's movement there at left tackle? Like, cause you blow this up and like you're in control almost as soon as the ball is snapped here. Like, what are you keying in on here?
Okay, since I'm on to star side, so he knows. So I'm gonna be in that tight 5. And I know, okay, this, like I said earlier, this is a copycat league. Teams like to run to the bubble. When I consider the bubble is with nose in the 5 and you're most of the tight end. So I knew this play was coming, so I just tightened my alignment and got V to his neck and make sure I had an angle to actually make the play. Like I didn't want to, if most people would have wide out, depending on what defense you're in. If I'd had a 3, I still would have tackled the same way. I would have acted like I would have tackled it to the tight end and put my hands back once I noticed he wasn't trying to avoid me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something Zoe always talked about is, teams, especially this season, what they did was that Y trade, that Y shift.
Yeah, Y trade, run to the bubble. Yeah,
run to the bubble. That's something Zoe always broke down with us in the film room. And it's just a great read here. And this is what I'm talking about with physicality. And you always lead with your hands when it comes to defending the run. Your hand placement is sublime on pretty much all of your reps as a run defender. And this is against a really, really good left tackle of the Cowboys there in Smith. Just a great read and squeezing that gap right there and bringing Elliott down. So the last play, though, we got to end with a bang. This is a twist, a game between you and Jordan Phillips, your man Jordan. So I want you to walk us through this from the beginning. Talk about the timing of stunts because you and Phillips, when you're stunting, especially this game, your guys' timing was so good. And the Bills, as you know, the Bills like to only rush 4. So it's all about the different games that you guys can come up with and execute to get the quarterback off the spot to affect the quarterback. So talk about the timing of this stunt, what type of stunt it is, and your assignment.
Okay, the stunt is an extra stunt. My timing is make an inside move. But we don't want to peek in there and look like we just going to make a move. And a good part on Phil, too. Phil can't look outside. Offensive line smart. Once you peek outside, they know it's a game coming. That's day one teaching for offensive line.
Right.
So Phil had a great sell in the rush, like he was about to inside move. And my goal was like, either make an inside move to beat him, or if I don't beat him, pick his hip. So I knew Taylor the one was a vertical set. So ET games, work good on a vertical set because he's gonna kick back. It's just gonna open him up. So I seen him have a little cup of hand on him. I said, if notice that if I can't win the move right here, I'm going to pick the hip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I picked the hip and got vertical, and it opened big field up. It made me flush Tannehill because he felt the pressure right here, which I wanted a piece of this sack so bad. I really want a piece of that. That would have
you did all the work.
I would have had 7.5. But that just get me vertical, spin to the hip, and I can take up 2 and big field wrap around with a sack, man. It's probably, bro, I ain't that's probably one of the best games I had. Yeah.
I think Phillips too. I mean, he had a hell of a game this game too.
Yeah, I'm talking about not like a football game. I'm talking about the game.
Game.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
all the Bills fans recognize that. It's something that we had posted years ago, and I always come back to this play. But yeah, you said it, man. Your guys in a wide alignment. You get 2 guys that Lawan has to kick out wide to get a little width, but you cut back inside, and it really shortens that edge for Jordan Phillips. It makes his job that much easier. You see Lawan carry you inside. You got the 2 guys on you. It has a short edge for Phillips there. So the assist definitely goes to you, Shaq.
Yes, sir. I said, Tannehill, please stay right there.
Yeah, right. Just like sitting duck. You a lot of times on your stunts and your games, like you take such good angles that either put you in position to either get the sack or to be that guy who can like pick the hip and just drive through. Talk about like that. We talked about the timing and the game that you were running on that one, but talk about like the angles, whether it's in stunts or just getting to the quarterback in general. Cause like, I feel like that doesn't get talked about a lot, like the angle and the type of path that you take to the quarterback. Like how important is that for you, whether you're playing a game or whether you're just on a regular rush? Like how important is your angle and your path to the QB?
Yo. Okay, so that's another like key. Each quarterback set different. Some set to 5 to 10 yards. So depending on who you playing, your angle will change a little different. Like, let me give an example. I can't say Brady. Brady ain't really too deep. But I'm trying to think of a quarterback that's set deep. Like Russell Wilson, he's set deep, right? So your angle approach is going to be different when you're rushing your man. You got to put I'm personally thinking like, okay, I'm going to tilt, not really tilt, but have my feet going towards the quarterback so I can make a move. Because at the end of the day, it's about being tight. Like if he'd have been wide on that stunt game, he wouldn't have got a shot. It's about being tight and connected to your man and rush. But it really depends on what quarterback you playing throughout the week. How they people got different drop sets. Like Tyrod Taylor, he don't drop that far deep. You know what I'm saying? But each quarterback got a different set, so they determine your angle, and that's the week in, week out. You gotta Monday, them Tuesday, them Wednesday, Thursday practice. You gotta work on your angle where they spot it. So we usually have a coach, a quarterback, or somebody have it where they spot it, where they be at. So.
Yeah. So by like midweek, by that like Tuesday, Wednesday day, like you guys have already discussed.
Yeah, by that Tuesday, by that Tuesday, I'm gonna know how deep your drop is and how far you like to set.
Now, let me ask real quick. Now, aside from your personal film study, that type of scouting on where the quarterback technically, usually drops in the pocket and hits the top of the drop. Now, are you getting that information from your coaches, and are they getting it from the pro scouts? Like, where's that information funneling down from?
Yeah,
like the scouting report on top of your film.
Scouting report, your film study, some stuff they might scout. You might see something different. You might come to coach, hey coach, hey, I recognize this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we basically feeding off each other. Right. That's one thing about like football, like. Each player, I don't care if you're a starter or a backup. Like, if you're a starter or a backup, like we all working together. Like, Vaughn might come in, hit a dude with a speed move, but I come in right behind Vaughn. I hit him with a power. The offensive line, he got to deal with 2 different moves, so it's really kind of putting stress on him.
1,000%. Like that's such a beautiful way to put it. And this episode, man, like Shaq, we appreciate the hell out of you taking the time to sit with us and chat with us and break down some film and talk technique and process and scouting and film and all of that, man. And you're out there living it up in Miami. Take some time out with that awesome red light rocking behind you there, and you take the time out to sit down and chat with us, man. We can't tell you how grateful we are that, you came and chopped it up with us a little bit, and we wish you all the best in the rest of this off season and, in the coming year, man. Thank you so much. And we wish you all the best.
Thanks, Shaq.
All right. Thank you.
Take it easy, brother.
Yes, sir.
Later, man.